Suffocation in the motherfucking house. How you doing? What's going on? How you doing? Hey.
I mean, this is like, oh, this is beautiful. We love it here. We absolutely love it here. This will be the third time we've been played here. Muffy, he's the man. Tight little intimate spot. I like that better than all these big, you know, giant festivals because it's just a little bit closer. The sound is tighter. You know, you get the best of the band here. So yeah, it's always great to be here. I mean, I think everybody thinks that way. Like, especially, I mean, downstairs, you see all the bands that played here. A lot of them I've been, you know, on the stage with before. And to see them all here and to know that we're here, I mean, we all know it's a good spot. All the metalheads that I, you know, from me growing up being a little rugrat to, you know, getting into the real aggressive stuff, and then you see how everybody grows up because now I'm older, you know, I'm over 50, so now I see these people and they bring their kids to the shows, and to me that like is like the most awesome thing because it's generational at that point. And I mean, I never would have ever thought that I'd be here for one, but for two, just to be able to experience the world in that such fashion and be able to play music like this, it's really a great thing, you know? But to see them growing up and to see that they're bringing in the generations and the new kids and they're listening to heavy stuff with their dads and they're buying records, it's just, it's freaking cool as shit, you know? It's always individual, so each of us starts with, like, let's say, a riff that we're working on by ourselves, you know what I mean? I don't think anybody ever thinks like, okay, I'm gonna put this one at 120 at 4/4 and go like that, 1 and 2 and 3 and go, and just try to write something to that. We just kind of more or less try to make the music for the music. And from that point, we get together and try to coerce it. Some of us, you know, do things on our own, which is something that's kind of cool. Basically, we just try everything. So we really tried to coalesce our last record to make sure that everybody was a part of everything. You know, so what you hear is really what you get. You get the whole entire band. It's creative juices. It's everything. It was hard. I'm not gonna lie. It was hard because everybody has a different idea as well as where the direction of things should go. So to make it where everybody's happy, that's the hard part. But to get the riffs together and to be able to write them, that's not really the hardest part of it all. But that's what makes it even harder because now all these years have gone by and so many bands have gone into doing this style thing. To keep it original is really kind of difficult because a lot of bands have already, you know, gone beyond that, you know? So we do it, we got to do it, you know what I mean? I would be doing something different. I try to be artistic and creative, so I do that through playing guitar and stuff like that, playing with my band. But if it wasn't for something like that, I would probably be like an animator or something to that degree, maybe making costumes for movies. I love makeup, I like special effects, and I like things like that. So between, you know, being the animator, because I was always into cartoons, I was always into that, you know, you draw a stick figure and you make it move when you flip the pages on something. I was always into that stuff. So between the artwork and that and just, you know, seeing all the sci-fi stuff that I've always been into since I was a little kid, I would be choosing to do things like that. Oh, aliens. I mean, well, aliens in the sci-fi part, Exorcist in the horror part. So, you know, between both of them, you know, I'm into all the crazy makeup and all the aesthetics and all the crazy vomit flying and, you know, the digital creation of things and even the like Jim Henson stuff with, you know, like the animatronics and the puppets and stuff. That, the Dark Crystal, come on, you can't even fuck with that. Oh, wow. Well, there's quite a few, but I don't know. You know, during the death of my grandparents, I had the issue, I was on the road with my band, and I knew that there was not that much time left for my grandmother, and we had just finished a show, and I guess some of my family had talked to some of my band members. They didn't talk to me, but they were like, you know, if you can get them here because it's the last minute. So without me knowing, I ended up where my grandparent was. I just went to sleep and woke up and I was there, and I was like, wow, you know, like my whole band just like went out of their way to make sure I could make it to go and see my grandmother during her last days. Fortunately, I missed it by a couple of hours, but at least I was there with the rest of my family, and everybody congregated in Omaha, which is where my grandparents are from, in Nebraska. And I mean, we had traveled pretty much quite a few hundred miles or kilometers to get there. But I didn't know. You know, I had no idea that my band was willing and able to make that sacrifice to get me there, and they did. And I thought that was like probably one of the most awesome events for me, because they made it so I could come and deal with my family as beyond putting a business first and being caught out there and having to say, hey guys, I gotta fly away or something like that. They just, no, we're going. And next thing you know, I was there, and I had no idea that that's where, you know, I just knew that she was passing away, but they facilitated me to get there, and that was really cool. Wow, that's really heavy. Well, it would be R-E-S-P-E-C-T. You know what I mean? Aretha Franklin, come on, we all know this one. So you'd have to give them that one, and it just spells it out for you in a nutshell, so it's good enough for me. R-E-S-P-E-C-T. You know what I'm saying.